Hey everybody, Don Georgievich here, Job Interview Tools. Did you ever go on a job interview where everything was perfect? They liked you, you were answering their questions, and you were given just perfect answers. They seemed really happy, they were laughing, and you got to the end of the interview and you like parted as good friends, shook their hands, we'll look forward to seeing you real soon, almost feeling like you got the job, and then you never heard from them again. I know, you're not alone. And I just had a question from a subscriber. He wrote in, he says, Don, I go on interview after interview and they seem to be perfect. Everything about the interview is perfect, but I never hear from these people again. How do I go from a perfect interview to nothing? What is going on? Well, that's really hard to say because there's a lot of different components in the interview, but to get right down to it, you probably not adding enough value. I mean, they like you, maybe they like you just personally. And everything else, they kind of have question about. They have concerns, they're unsure. So there's three things that you have to have, that you have to do, that you have to be in every interview. And one of them, you got to be enthusiastic. Every job interview you go on, you have to be enthusiastic. You have to want it. And this can be hard for some people who are maybe just a little bit soft-spoken. Maybe they're not that energetic. Maybe they're not out that going. But you have to be enthusiastic. And I think even the calmest person can express some enthusiasm in their voice instead of just talking like this all the time. I think those people can still step it up a little bit more and enunciate their words and express themselves. And I mean, anybody can pick up their hands and talk. So I mean, a lot of times, people ask, or the employer asks, so why do you want to work here? And if you just kind of sit back there and say, I'd really like this place. It's kind of nice. That's not going to cut it. You want to be enthusiastic. You want to talk about their company and why you want to be a part of it. Say, I'm really excited about the things you're doing, the kinds of things you're doing, and where I want to be, and that's really aligned with my own personal goals, and and whatever it is. But express yourself. Even you can still express yourself and be enthusiastic if you're a calm person. You can enunciate your words. You can muster up a little bit more from your diaphragm there and use a slightly deeper voice to get your words out and show them. Make them feel that you want to be there, that you want to be a part of their company. That's what you got to do. You got to be enthusiastic. If you're not, that's not going to help you. So number two, next thing you want to do is you want to show and demonstrate value. I mean, you can be the nicest person in the world, you can have the education that they're looking for, but if they can't see how that you're going to be valuable to them, or maybe, based on some of your past experience, some of those experiences you have, show those and connect them to what they're looking for so they can see the value. Find out what they're looking to accomplish in this position so that you can talk about how you are a solution to what they're looking for. I mean, if they're looking for somebody who's capable of selling, certain types of electronics, let's say medical devices, you might want to talk about your past experience with medical devices and the success that you've had with those. Or let's say you're a programmer and they're hiring for a programmer. Talk about your past experiences and projects that you've worked on as a programmer. Be specific and show them how the past work that you've done in your past company translates and relates over to them. Show them the value of your experience, the value that they're going to get from hiring you, and how you are going to help them achieve their goals. I mean, otherwise, they're probably not going to be interested in you if they can't see the value. I mean, if you were shopping for a new car and the car was $50,000 and you just didn't really see the value in it, it's like, I can get the same thing over here for $25,000. You're not going to buy the $50,000 car. You're going to buy the one for $25,000 because to you, they both have the same amount of value. Employers are the same way when they're shopping for candidates. If they're not feeling what they're going to get from you, they're not going to be interested. They're going to move on. Make sense? And the last thing you want to do is you want to show them that you're a culture fit. You want to show them that you're like-minded. You want to show them that you are like them. That's just natural human behavior. Humans like to associate with people who are like-minded, share the same values and beliefs. I mean, if you are completely, in the other spectrum of things, and, maybe you have the experience, maybe you have the qualifications, you have everything they're looking for, but, let's just say that you're just not a culture fit. You're not like them. You don't look like them. You don't talk like them. They're not going to be interested. It just isn't going to work. I mean, just for example, let's say you work for Apple Computer or Google, and you want to leave there and you're going to apply for a job at, let's say, IBM. Well, IBM is, they're a suit and tie kind of place, very firm and stuffy. And, people at Apple, they don't wear these coats, they don't wear these shirts, they wear casual stuff. So if you show up for your interview, I mean, maybe, you put on a coat, you go to the interview with IBM, but your style is Apple, which is laid back, it's easy going, it's totally different than what IBM is looking for. They're looking for serious people who aren't all soft and fluffy like those people out in, who work for Apple in California. Or let's just say you're interviewing at a law firm and, you came from IBM. You know what? That's a perfect fit because IBM's a suit and tie kind of place. So is a law firm. And you have that same type of a rigid culture that you have at IBM in a law firm. Culture transcends from one industry or one company to another. And that's one of the things that a lot of people who interview for jobs don't really understand because they think that they have the education, they have the experience. What else is there? Well, it's that third element. It's culture. And you need to be a culture fit. You want to show them you're a culture fit. And if you're not, they're going to sense it. It's really hard to fake being a culture fit. I mean, I suppose you could do it, but it's kind of hard. It's really who you are. It would be like masking who you were in the interview, which just doesn't really go very well because that just goes against everything that you are, and then you kind of end up sounding fake. So go in there, be yourself, be who you are. And if that's not good enough for them, you move on, you go to the next. Now, remember I started this video talking about going into an interview where everything seemed great, and then you hear nothing. So on your next interview, I want you to try something. At the close of your interview, I want one of your closing questions to be, now again, only ask this if you feel it's right for you and it feels natural for you. Never do anything that I tell you to do in your interview that doesn't feel right for you, okay? So at your next interview, the close in the interview, and they say, hey, do you have any final questions for us? Say, if we were to come to an agreement where you decided that you wanted to extend an offer to me and you wanted me to come work here, how do you see me fitting in here over the next 6 months? And then stop talking. Now, what this question is going to do, it's going to make them think. It's going to make them visualize you working there. And they're either going to come back and they're going to say, well, I'm not sure. That would be bad. That means they can't visualize you working there. Or they might come back and they'll say, well, if you started here and, over the next 6 months, we'd see you working on these projects, see you doing these kinds of things, working with this team of people. I can see you working in very well around here. That's the answer that you want. And you're like, oh, great, because I can see that too. If you get anything other than that, that means they have concerns about you. They have objections. That means they're never going to call you again. That's what it means. That's what it means. So at the end of your interview, say, hey, how do you see me fitting in around here if we were to, come to some kind of agreement where, you extended an offer to me and I accepted it. And if they come back and they say, well, I'm not sure or whatever, that is your cue to start selling yourself. That means they have some concerns about you. And that's your opportunity to start asking more questions, to start digging deeper, to find out, why they're saying that. Maybe Maybe there's something about you that they missed. Maybe there's some certain experiences or skills that they didn't realize that you had. So you might want to come back and say, why do you say that? Because, I see myself fitting in here really good. And then put it back on them. And they'll say, well, we're kind of concerned that you don't really have the experience we're looking for, or you don't have the skill set, or you don't have the training, whatever it is. And then that's your opportunity to say, well, either, well, you're right, or hopefully you say, I do have those things. We just didn't get a chance to talk about them. So it's another opportunity for you to sell yourself at the close of the interview. And doing this is going to help you figure out where they stand before you guys part ways. And that way you can try to, alleviate some of those issues where everything seemed to go well, but you never heard from them again because you want to continue the relationship. All right, my friend, that's all I got for you today. Oh, and because you're here, I've got a free gift for you. I want you to head on over to jobinterviewtools.com before your next interview. Download the top 10 interview questions, my free gift for you. This is like a 30-page book here. It's got the most common questions that you can expect to get asked on your next interview. Like, tell me about yourself. Why do you want to work here? Why should we hire you? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? This little book here, it's free. It's going to show you how to answer all of those questions, and it's going to do it in a way that's going to make you look awesome, because I wouldn't have you doing anything any other way except for you to look awesome. So it's free gift, jobinterviewtools.com/10. Download it, and it's going to help you go farther in your next interview. It's going to help you land your next interview, your next job. All right, my friend, that's all I got for you. We'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye now.